I just got rich. Well, I just MetaDoge 5. Yeah. If you don't got a coin in your wallet, you broke. I said what I said. Hey, my doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. Tell him I said it.
Thanks. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours. My doge is the first. You are just a meme. My doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge. I just struck it rich. Too much money, it can't fit in my pocket. MetaDoge, flip it, watch me hold. NFT, I got one gold. We be lit like the stove. All these paper hands exposed. That's my doge, I cannot fold. Hey, I've been trapping doge off in the metaverse. MetaDoge, history made, we did it first. I can't make this up, ain't no right rehearse. We got all the drip, we gon' quench they thirst. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 big dog, boss doge and metaverse. I bought friends, NFTs, stake them, gotta get them first. Once she dip, I buy the dip, it come up, she can get her purse. Don't you wait until it's listed, you should go and get it first. Dog, I'm certified, check my status, that's about me. We been shaking up the market, that's no lie. Ricky Bobby, they gon' duplicate and try. Roger that, copy. I'm a big dog, off the leash, chest out, cocky. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. My doge not like yours, my doge is the first. You are just a meme, my doge got a metaverse. MetaDoge, 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 MetaDoge. Slime, I'ma put y'all on to something real quick. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put this coin in your pocket. That's not you broke. Go to MetaDoge.live. That's MetaDoge.live. For real. Get you some money. LNJ. You can find me in the metaverse with my MetaDoge, you dig?
How is everybody doing? Thank you for joining us for the highly anticipated reveal of the game trailer. So before we get to that, as always, I am Owen from Public Relations. It is great to see you guys. Thank you for showing out. We have a special guest with us today, though. And that special guest is the man himself. We wouldn't be here without him, Dom. Dom, can you hear us right now?
Yes, I can hear you, Owen. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for all the work you've been doing recently, especially in relation to the game. I'm excited to see the
Oh, Dom, I think we lost you there, buddy. Oh, there he is.
Saying, I'm looking forward to the reveal today. It's been a lot of work that's been put in from you and the team, so I'm looking forward to seeing the results. Yeah,
and that's one of the first things I was going to ask you is just kind of how far we have come since the launch in November, the relaunch that we had to do a few months ago. All this work that we've been doing behind the scenes, you working tirelessly behind the scenes, just kind of like where we've come from and how excited you are about the future and what we are about to see here today and show everybody.
Yeah, obviously. So we launched in November, and we had a really good run with good market conditions. We released some utility, the NFT staking, and we did quite a few different ranges, season 1, season 2, Chinese New Year. And then, next on the roadmap was the in-game breedable NFTs, and obviously the game itself. We had the relaunch in the meantime, and we had quite a few issues, technical issues, but also market conditions weren't great. So from them, we've been using the budget wisely, to factor in the game costs, the NFT costs, and the trailer costs, etc., and to ensure we've got the funds for the longevity of the project. And the results of the work that's been happening are pleasing. I've seen the trailer; it looks really, really good. It's been planned out really well. The game's been planned out really well. There's a lot of good details there. It's given me a lot of nostalgic feelings, reminiscent of Pokemon, etc. And it's almost got some feelings of Lord of the Rings in there as well. It feels like there's the Darklands, etc., and some Japanese anime films it reminds me of. So yeah, there's a lot of good feelings there, and I'm excited for what's coming. If we do the utility, then we can market around that and drive more people to MetaDoge to them to see as it's a long-term sustainable project that delivers.
I completely agree with you. I think that's one of the things that we tried to do, was to make sure that we are doing something that is familiar to people. Like you said, it touches on those Pokemon nostalgia, some Lord of the Rings in there, some anime feel to it. It touches on so many different aspects to feel familiar, but it's still, the way that we built it is incredibly unique. And I think that's going to be really cool for people to be able to see, which we will be showing in a second. And all of you that are in the Telegram voice chat as well with us, you're more than welcome to be here. But if you want to see the trailer, you're going to have to hop over to the YouTube live stream with the other 20-something odd people that are over there. So make sure that you are doing that as well, and you have that pulled up. But you're more than welcome to be here. But Dom, if you don't have anything else to say, you say we go ahead and show the people the trailer?
Yeah, let's go for it. I think sure everybody's ready to see it. So let's just press play.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the trailer for the upcoming Metaverse game by MetaDoge. Here you go. Well, there you have it. There you have it. The upcoming game. It is just incredible. Dom, can you kind of just take us through a little bit of how you feel about what you just saw?
Yeah, I mean, like kind of it starts off like in a nice safe place, and then it progresses onwards to much more exciting adventures. I really like the breeding aspect, and the ability to gain, new powers, etc. I think the quality of the animations, really, really good. I think Andy's done a great job, and his colleagues of, developing the trailer. And that's the kind of quality we can expect to continue, into the game, and also to the NFTs as well. I think there's a lot of scope in terms of marketing and, visibility for it. It seems, quite unique compared to, other games that I've seen on the market. So it's definitely something that I think, well, I know I'm interested in it, and I can imagine other people being interested as well. And, obviously if they're playing it and earning the tokens, if if there's going to be advertising in the game or promotion of other tokens. It's a great way to do cross-marketing. If MetaDoge can appear in other metaverse games, and likewise we can, receive characters in our metaverse game, then it's going to bring a lot of visibility to us. It's a very exciting time, and I think we're going to have to, work together as a community to bring visibility to, the game and what we're doing, and talk about it in private chats, and obviously, gain some attention from promotion as well. But I think if we all work together, to bring visibility to the trailer, to the NFTs, then it will make the build up to the game, much more exciting.
Completely agree with all points of that, and you even touched on some things that I had forgotten about, one of which being the partnership with other tokens that we are currently working on behind the scenes, but to be able to get not only their visibility over to us, but ours over to them, some different things that are very unique that we are looking to offer for that. I think is going to be huge for the MetaDoge community, and other people are going to really be wanting to kind of contribute to that, and that's going to be really cool. Right now we have a slideshow pulled up where we're looking at the title screen right now, MetaDoge Spirits of the Metaverse. Quickly on that, the reason why Spirits of the Metaverse, one of the things that you will notice about this game and how we do the NFTs, which we will get to here in a little bit, we have some of them to show you, which we're pretty excited about. But the way that it works is the NFTs are what going to give you your powers in the game, the move sets that you are doing. So that's why it kind of has that familiar feel of Pokemon that we discussed, but at the same time, it's unique. You're not out there, capturing different animals and trying to fight with them that way. That would just be a ripoff. These are actually the moves themselves, and you'll get a better look at that here in a little bit. So one of the first things that we can talk about that I'm excited for is all the different meta zones that we have. Dom, you've obviously helped with designing a lot of these meta zones. There's 6 different ones, starting out with the first release of the game that we're working on right now. What's kind of one of the areas that you're excited to kind of check out in game and kind of explore, I guess?
I think, one that I'm drawn to is Kishu City. I like Kishu, like kind of the brand. It's cute, and I've also like there's an anime film about a city in the wind. I can't remember what it's called. It's a Studio Ghibli one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's like a very exciting area. I like the idea of flying as well. It's something if I was going to, choose an ability of an animal, it would be to fly. So I like the idea of being high up in the clouds, exploring there. It looks like a really fun place to go. But likewise, obviously, I think, a lot of people are going to be drawn to the Darklands, which is the ominous, scary place where there is, an infected dogs essentially, look quite scary with their red eyes. So again, it's similar to some anime films, and has some similarities to Pokemon as well. So yeah, I think both of those areas. How about you?
I'm right there with you with the Cloud City. For some reason, just seems awesome. I'm kind of excited to explore underneath Shui Sea. To kind of get a feel for that Atlantis-like city would just be really cool. And what I love is just the complete uniqueness of each and every zone. They're their own thing. I mean, you have the dense jungles of, Floki Forest, to the electric industrial city of Inu Island, to, the clouds. I mean, anywhere you can go and explore everything, and everything is unique within itself. And each of the elements kind of play on that, which we'll go into. But I guess we'll go ahead and start with the first area, which is Dogeland, your starting area. This is where you will get your farm at the beginning of the game. Now, you will have the ability to purchase additional land in each of the unique cities, which will give you some benefits that we can touch on later for purchasing that land in unique cities. But Dogeland, your starting city, is just kind of, a normal, quiet farm town, and you will have your own farmhouse with that, to where you're able to customize yourself. You're able to have all of your MetaDoge that you have accumulated, all of your NFTs. This is where you can do some of your breeding as well as in town to be able to try to get more rare NFTs. So one of the things that I loved, Dom, and you really harped on this too, is the fact that there's two aspects of the game that work completely separately, completely independent of each other, but at the same time work together. So if you want to just collect NFTs, just breed and care for, your MetaDoge and everything, you can do that. That's there for that player base that wants to do that, that wants to just craft, maybe just, participate in the marketplace. You can do that. If you want to go out and do quests and adventure and battle and take on bosses and use the breeding to get stronger, or just, buy the loot boxes to get NFTs, you can do that part of it too. So it's really speaking to both player bases. That I think it's really cool that we were able to capture that part of it to make sure that we're making everyone happy and not skimping on any of the features. So which part of that are you kind of more excited for, the battling part or the breeding part?
Personally, I prefer the breeding part. I like the idea of creating, new characters, and I also see, there may be a financial benefit to that. And yeah, I'm not one for like kind of playing fighting games myself, but I think that's a good thing about it. I like the idea of exploring, and also like kind of, the benefits that come from that. But yeah, I mean, I'd play both aspects of the game, but I think I prefer the breeding aspect. I am excited by that in other projects that I'm in as well. And, I like collecting NFTs. I do see the long-term financial benefit of it, and if we can implement the functionality, where you can rent them out, that'd be good, to other players, and I like having rare NFTs as well. The best is where I want to be. So, from a collector point of view, that's like the way that I think. But I do see like kind of the fighting aspects being exciting. Especially if it's gaining me, experience points along the way. If I'm gaining rewards, whether that's in BNB or MetaDoge, then it's definitely something I want to do. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick one because I want to say the battling part, just because that's fun. To me, I mean, just playing the Pokemon games and just trying to get as strong as you can. But I feel like in order to get as strong as I can, the breeding part is essential for it. Being able to collect as many as you can. And I'm also huge on trying to collect, all of them. Even when it was Pokemon, I wanted all 151. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time on both of them. Because again, they both work so well together while still being able to be done independently. Like if you want to just battle and you don't want to do the breeding part of it, you don't have to. We're looking at ways to design the game to where there's a breeding station in town, and there will be a marketplace set up to where you can kind of stud out some of your NFTs maybe you're not using, or use other people's, kind of like a borrowing aspect, and pay them in MetaDoge to breed and try to get more rare NFTs. Or you can just buy booster packs or loot boxes to try to get stronger NFTs. So you don't have to do any of either part of it, but they work so well together that I think we do a really good job of promoting people able to do that. So would you agree with that?
Yes, 100%. You couldn't have said it any better.
So we'll just quickly go through a couple of the zones. Obviously, we'll be taking some questions here after. I know we have a ton of questions coming in the chat. It is lighting up. But as we talked about, we have, Floki Forest. We have Kishu City, the Cloud City that you saw where they were flying over and everything. We have Shui Sea with the underwater kind of Atlantis-like. And you'll notice that a lot of these are hitting on different elements that we will get to when it comes to the NFTs and the battling that we'll show in a little bit. And then we have Inu Island that has the industrial city, very electrically charged, as you can see. And then here's one part that we wanted to talk about. So this is kind of like the starting area where you have your own farm that's customizable. You can, obviously get additions onto your farm. You can get crafting stations. And that's one of the parts that we wanted to give people in order to help support the in-game economy that we are building. We wanted to have people the ability to where you can go scavenge for ingredients, complete quests, or just go out and explore and just try to find new ingredients and create your own kind of potions, elixirs, and different powerful items that either you can utilize yourself, or you have the ability to sell it on the in-game marketplace for additional MetaDoge if you want some other additional kind of, play to earn income coming out of that. So that's one of the things that I'm pretty excited about, is that they all kind of work in tandem. So Dom, with you kind of interested in the breeding aspect, you're probably going to be spending a lot of time on the farm. Are you going to be doing any crafting?
Well, probably, yeah. I'm going to be probably doing all aspects. I think in the testing of the game and also participating in it as well. It's going to take many hours to refine it and go over it. And we're looking for people to test it as well. But yeah, I think every aspect of the game I will be participating in, and then I'll decide if it interests me or not. But I'm open to it.
Yeah, and it's one of the ways that, because obviously the staking NFTs, we only have the season 2s left, and those are dwindling by the minute. So make sure that you guys are hopping on those. But with those staking NFTs gone, if you're wanting to earn MetaDoge, you're going to have to be moving over into, working your way through these meta zones and trying to get some crafting and sell them, or collecting some NFTs and selling those in the marketplace. Like, that's going to be your way of kind of getting that staking aspect out of it whenever the game comes out. Because we do, which is the screenshot that we have up right now, the marketplace, which will be an in-game marketplace. There will be two kinds. There will be the normal in every city. They'll have a marketplace where you can just go buy some of these items. But there will also be an in-game one where players are able to sell these items to each other that they create, or these NFTs, kind of similar to what we already have built. So that's one of the things that we're pretty excited about and able to show them, is having that marketplace. So it's a fully functioning, self-sustaining economy run off of the MetaDoge V2 token. So I'm pretty excited about that. But now, what we have up, and you had touched on this earlier, the Darklands, the scary fireplace that exists, which, like you said, kind of touches a little bit on Lord of the Rings with the volcano in the background and whatnot. But these are sort of the main enemies that are kind of sweeping over all the different meta zones that exist. So all of the meta zones are touched by this like sickness, this virus, of these kind of like evil MetaDoge that are coming. But these are generally the enemies that are corrupting, I guess, the spirits that exist inside the game itself. And I love the character model. Dom, you had a lot to do with this, with as far as like the red eyes and making them kind of dark. Did you say that, what kind of that reminded you of? You said it like harkened back to like a show or a movie that you used to watch or something that kind of gave you that idea?
Well, there is that kind of, there's an infection in the forest in Princess Mononoke, where they have red eyes. There is also, it reminds me kind of as well of, the dark Pokemon in Team Rocket, that they're all like kind of corrupted Pokemon, like, Dark Gyarados and Dark Raichu, etc. They're all like kind of evil in some way. So it's, a lot of nostalgia there, I think. A lot of like thinking back towards, childhood for many people. Many investors around about, the 20s, 30s kind of age group. And, Pokemon was definitely part of their childhood, as was Digimon and a few others, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc. And I think all these like kind of TV series had like a dark enemy, like the infiltrated, and there was the good guys that were going fighting them, the protagonists. So it's very reminiscent of that. How about you?
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of like Team Rocket from Pokemon. How you brought that up. That kind of what it gives me an idea of. Maybe like Dragon Ball Z a little bit, just with like the red eyes, the aura. I like just the idea of going that way, of where like it's such a pure and good place, but this kind of like sickness or corruption, whatever it may be, is taking what's good and turning it dark, and it's your job to kind of save it and bring it back to what it should be. So I really like the way that it went with that, and kind of giving that type of enemy. And it's almost like, anybody, anything could turn evil. I just like the way that it plays on that. So, and I love the character models that were made for that. But yeah, so that is kind of a dive into MetaDoge, Spirits of the Metaverse. But one thing that we did want to show you is the NFTs, and kind of speak on how those NFTs have utility for the game. Because it's one thing just to release like a collectible NFT, which these will be, but they have actual utility based on the game themselves. So without further ado, here are two examples of the NFTs that you will be able to collect in the game. On the left, we have one of the legendary ones, and on the right, a rare one. So the way that these NFTs work is these are what give you the move sets in your game. You can carry 4 on you at a time that are attacks, and 4 passive ones as well. So right here on the left, we have the legendary. It's a lightning storm. This is one of the most powerful moves in the game that you can possibly have. As you can see, it has a damage multiplier at the bottom of it, so it does an extra 100% worth of damage, doubling the damage that it would normally do because it is a legendary. And on the right, you have Fire Blast. Now, there are different levels of rarity for these. There is the common, uncommon, rare, and epic. And each level that you go up, it increases the damage counter on those. So that is kind of the way that we went with it. You'll also see at the bottom right corner that they have their genders, the male and female. That is used for the breeding aspect of the game. So some of the things that you can do is if you have a Fire Blast, 2 rare Fire Blast, 1 male, 1 female, you could at your farm breed them together to try to get an epic Fire Blast that will do 50% plus damage. That's kind of the way that it's going to be incorporated into the game and give utility. So that's what helps with the breeding aspect of being able to collect them all, while also making your character stronger along the way. But there will be close to, counting like different genders and whatnot, there'll be close to 500 different unique NFTs in the game, which is, I don't think has ever been done before. But over 60 different moves, different rarities along those, different, being able to breed them. Dom, what are your thoughts on these NFTs?
Well, the way you describe it sounds complicated. There's 500 of them, yeah. No, there is a lot of work going on, and I think that what adds to it is the complexity is something that makes it intriguing, exciting. There's a lot of thought that's gone into it, into the different moves, and how they combine together. There's a lot of different aspects. There's electric, water, fire, which is again reminiscent of Pokemon, but there's a lot of different moves that fall into each of those categories. And it will give you different abilities, and you'll be able to fight against different animals, in the metaverse essentially. And it's interesting how you can combine them together. And I think there's a lot of thought that's gone into it. You've put a lot of time into this, a lot of thought into how it's going to be mapped out, how it's going to play out in the game. So hands off to you and your brother, who have put a lot of time and effort here. That's why it's happening. I think there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential for people to want to own these, to have the rarer ones, and there's certainly going to be value attached to the rarer ones, and maybe even the more common ones as well. And there's a lot of diversity there. Having a potential range of NFTs that goes into the hundreds. There's a lot to choose from, and it's quite a big concept. It's something exciting, something much bigger than the staking NFTs. I think. I think we'll look back at the staking NFTs as the starting point, and then obviously we're progressing something more advanced and something that gives you more utility. And obviously we would open up, access to, in-game items, NFTs, land sales, etc., to the current NFT holders in MetaDoge, and obviously prioritize long-term holders of the token as well. So there's some benefits to holding MetaDoge for all the time that you have done.
Completely agree. I think we have a lot of really cool things on the horizon for all of our long-term holders and people who are ready to ape in on it now that are seeing the finished kind of work that we've been doing behind the scenes for the past few months. I think we have a lot of stuff planned for them, which we'll talk about really shortly as well. But yeah, I'm just incredibly excited. I'm ready to jump into it. One of the questions that came through the chat is, when are we looking to launch the game? We're looking at Q4 of this year is when we're looking to have the full game launch. We will hopefully have a beta build prior to that so you guys can check it out. We will hopefully live stream some of that gameplay for you so that you'll be able to kind of get an in-depth look of the gameplay as it goes around. And we're going to have some competitions along the way to where you can go ahead and lock up some of these in-game NFTs early. That's something that's going to be really cool. So you'll be able to kind of have a head start prior to kind of jumping into the game and whatnot. Dom, just overall feeling, gut feeling on the game. How excited are you to get your hands on this?
Well, I'm lost for words. No, I'm very excited. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of work, like kind of to get there, but it'll be worth it. And I think that with the involvement of the community in testing, in talking to friends about it, being active in the chat, if we can continuously release game development footage, release progress. I think we can build momentum, and ultimately that will, drive buying pressure, and we can market around that as well. But there's going to be a lot of different factors involved in getting there. It's not going to be just an easy journey. Developing a game takes hundreds of hours reviewing it. Working with games developers, graphic designers, etc., and also working with the confines of the budget as well. So I think we've got a big task ahead of us, and we've made a lot of progress so far. So yeah, I'm excited, but there's also a lot of work to do as well.
There absolutely is, and that brings us to one of the questions in the chat. Is well, there's two. We're gonna hit on both, but one of them being like, where will you be able to play this? We are shooting for obviously PC, Mac, and mobile devices is what we're looking for. There are some legalities and technicalities we have to work around to make sure that, obviously it's following, the Apple developer account and making sure that's all underway and taken care of. But those are the platforms that we're looking to be able to have this play on. So you can play them on your mobile devices, and you'll be able to play it just on your PC. And it'll be cross progression is what we're looking for. One of the questions was, are you planning on selling some lands? Yes, you will be given your first area starting land. That will be given to you because you don't want to nickel and dime people when it comes to a play-to-earn game. The point of it is to be able to earn, those MetaDoge tokens and whatnot without forcing you to buy stuff. Like, we will encourage it, and there will be definite benefits for using your tokens to purchase things in the game. But yes, you will be given some land starting out, and each city, each meta zone has its own spot for you to be able to get a farm in which you get perks and bonuses for breeding specific elemental types on those farms. There's a huge benefit to being able to do that, and it helps your chances of getting a more rare NFT when you're purchasing those additional land plots in those different cities. So that's one cool thing that we're excited about, because we want people to be able to expand and buy their own land and whatnot in the area. Dom, that's really about all the questions that have come through here. The rest of these are just people hyped up in the chat about the release. They're excited as I am. So the only other thing I guess to announce is that later on today, so make sure that you are following our Twitter, so that way we will make the announcement. But later on today, we will be dropping the buy tax to 1%. So you guys can go ahead and start stocking up right now. You can go ahead and start buying those Season 2 NFTs. Dom, as you had mentioned, we're looking to find a way where they can trade some of those staking NFTs, possibly for in-game ones. We'll have to obviously figure out the algorithms or what we want to do for that. But them being able to do that. So if you want to go ahead and kind of get an early start, buy some of those Season 2 NFTs. It's the last staking ones that we have. And then you'll be able to kind of transfer some of those over into in-game NFTs. Once we get that kind of figured out exactly how we want to proceed with that. But we will be dropping that buy tax to 1%, which, Dom, that was your idea to kind of say thanks to the community for sticking with us this entire time.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that we need to do. Incentivize buy-in, create some visibility to the project. So yeah, that's one of the things that I've discussed, and we want to implement some competitions as well, to involve the community, and also to get you some hands on these new NFTs. So we will be posting them in the the upcoming week, and yeah, we want to do some marketing around the game trailer. We have. We've used the excuse of market conditions a few times, which is true. If you look at generally in meme tokens, the market isn't, the people are invested in stable coins or, APY projects, etc. currently. So that the market conditions are, they're not like kind of bullish anyway. But we are, we're taking a considered approach to the marketing and visibility, and we will roll stuff out gradually.
Exactly. So make sure that you are following Twitter, our official Twitter account, at MetaDoge BSC. So you are up to date whenever we drop the buy tax later on today. And this week we have some great competitions that are planned for you guys to be able to kind of get some NFTs already. We were even discussing maybe donating some of our own Season 1 NFTs that are impossible to find and highly sought after for some of the competitions as well. So make sure that you guys are following our Twitter account, ready for that to happen. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you're one of the first to see them. But other than that, Dom, do you have any closing remarks for the people before we kind of play the trailer one more time?
Sure, yeah. I'd just like to say thank you for the work that Owen and your brother, not
Oh, we lost Dom again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've been doing, with the game and the development and the trailer and NFTs. There's a lot of time and effort gone into it. And thank you for the community for, remaining positive and sticking in the chat and being patient whilst we, roll out development. And we're strategic with marketing, so we don't waste funds for the longevity of the project. So thank you for the community for your continued, efforts to, be in the chat and also, to raise awareness to MetaDoge. And, we're planning on gaining momentum as we build up to the game and, building some hype in the chat. So we'll release various things. And if anyone's got any ideas, feel free to let us know.
Exactly. We are always open to ideas. That is how we all kind of came together and put a lot of work into this project. Dom's been working tirelessly. Everyone on the dev team, we're all working tirelessly to make sure that we're bringing you not only the best token, but the best game as well. And we will be releasing more information over the next coming weeks and dev updates and stuff like that as far as around the game. But we're excited we were able to show you the trailer. This will be going live on Twitter here in the next few minutes. But as always, that is Dom. I am Owen. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. Thank you.